If you're passionate about change and love a good laugh, then you need to join Chuck and Joe. Chuck and Joe are a dynamic husband and wife duo, tackling the biggest issues across the nation and around the globe. With a blend of wit and wisdom, they dive deep into current events, giving you the lowdown with a side of humor. They're not just talking heads, they're your fellow freedom fighters, committed to sparking meaningful conversations. From politics to social justice, no topic is off limits. So hit that subscribe button and join the freedom fighter community today. Let's laugh, learn, and fight for a better world together. Welcome to the Freedom Fighters podcast, where serious meets funny, just like Chuck and Joe.
Hello from the Freedom Fighters podcast. It's Friday, February 6th, 2026. This is Chuck and Joe, and let's get into it. I'm just going to start off telling you about some of the things that I found out today and put it in no particular order, things that are happening around America that I think all my freedom fighters need to be aware of and may not be being told on the normal media stations. First of all, it was found that a Chinese biological lab was discovered in a home here in America. I'll take that down for a minute, folks. A Chinese biological lab was found here in America. The Chinese man, his name is Ju, and he goes by David He. He was manufacturing deadly viruses. They found 1,000 genetically altered mice that were supposed to carry more COVID across the United States. They also found mice and other vials holding HIV, herpes, malaria. They were splicing genes, figuring out how to make these work more efficiently to kill the most Americans that they could kill. Now, David He, or Ju, actually is a member of the CCP. So let's face it, he was being funded by the CCP. Therefore, the CCP must know what is going on. I find this very, very disturbing. Very disturbing. And they are trying to link this to what happened also, if you are aware. They found other biological agents out in Las Vegas, and they are trying to link David He to these things. This is just big. We all know that Wuhan was the start of what the COVID virus that we know and have been vaccinated for. We also know that it also started with a couple of Harvard fellas that were funding this diabolical, I don't even know what to call it, folks, warfare, germ warfare, accountability to kill other people, to the CCP. They are wanting, especially Americans, to die. They are in with Bill Gates. They are in with the CCP, the certain people in the European Union. The goal is for the elites to kill as many people as they can to get the population down around 500 million. Or 500,000. It's the silliest thing I've ever heard. But they're out to get us, folks, and we need to be aware of that. Just something I thought I would report to you. That's the only specifics that I have right now, but I will get more for you. This needs to be totally investigated. Next, I wanted to bring you a little bit of news on Don Lemon. We all know that he's been making his rounds. Proud as can be that he broke into that church with his fellow rioters, I guess I would say, scared the people in the church, the congregation, scared children, didn't even care. If you've watched podcasts, he made it clear that he was there to intimidate and scare children. And that people that go to church are basically elitist and that we're white supremacists and we are white people that think we are supreme. Well, I've got news for you, Don Lemon. Black people go to church too. Guess what? Loads of Black people are not happy with you either. Just like I wouldn't be happy if you broke into a Black church and did the same thing, because of what it comes down to is respect for people and their religion. I wouldn't go into a mosque and start stuff like this. I know why you didn't go into a Black church and start stuff like this, because guess what? I can only guess what the Black men would have did to you. And they would have made anything that the white man is going to do to you look easy. However, who am I to say that? Moving on. Let's go and let's talk a little bit about another person who is frauding the government, not frauding just the people with Christianity. This person's frauding all of Americans, and her name is Ilhan Omar. And of course, we all know Ilhan's story and all the Somalians and the things that are going on in Minnesota, Ohio, etc. We know the billions of dollars that they are stealing. I constantly listen to Omar go on and say how that the white people and the people of America are coming against her and her people, and that we are unfairly and unjustly accusing them of things that have not happened, and that if anybody is responsible for it, it's the government. Well, according to Benny on the Benny show, and if you've never had a chance to watch Benny, I suggest you watch him. He's very informative, does a lot of work out on foot and checks into things very thoroughly. Benny found something very interesting, Miss Omar. Let me tell you what Benny found. Benny found that you own a winery. And if I checked right, you're Muslim. First of all, Muslims don't own wineries. It's against their religion. So I guess maybe you just dress as a Muslim? Is that correct? And you're a Muslim when it benefits you, maybe. American when it benefits you, maybe. Somalian when it benefits you, maybe. I don't know. Is that far off? Ms. Omar, I would like an answer from you. Please. We would all like an answer from you. But here's what Benny found. That you own this winery in California. Okay, if that's not bad enough, you and your husband, who I might add is white, took this winery, and this is absolutely amazing. She must be the best businesswoman in the world, or her husband, the best businessman in the world, took this winery, and they took it from a mere $15,000 in 2023 to a whopping, and I mean a whopping 30 million 2 years later. It says that they won 2 prestigious awards. Benny checked into those awards. They're all over this website. And the competition didn't even exist, Omar. Didn't even exist. And since Benny has been out to California on foot and has checked endlessly into your financial forms that have been sent to the government over this winery, you've scrubbed it from the internet. You scrubbed it so good that my friend Matt, who has a podcast, found out that his friend couldn't even go into it and figure it out. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. And they're high tech. So I say to you, if you did nothing wrong, Ilhan Omar, why did you scrub everything from the internet? How do you take a business up that fast? Obviously, we, the American people, are missing out on something, and we, the American people, want to know how we can exceed in the American dream, since obviously we're not understanding. Could you please teach us? Just asking. Send me the information. I'll be able to put it up for you so that all of America can view it and we can all get rich. Or perhaps we just didn't marry the right husband. Can you tell me which one of the 4 husbands that you've had helped you the most and what you've learned out of that? Just curious. Moving on. I have been watching Vice President JD. He's amazing. He is not only the vice president to Donald Trump, but he is the next leader of the MAGA generation. It's been made obvious by the people around the nation that their next choice for vice president at this point is JD Vance. JD has taken on the tough job of going into California and leading a task force to find out what exactly the hurt is that, I don't know, the government has done there. We all know the person. I'm not even going to mention him by name. He doesn't deserve that. And I watched him on the Megyn Kelly show the day before yesterday. And if you haven't had a chance to watch it, please watch it. Megyn gave JD Vance a very, very informative interview. She was a very good interviewer. And I thought JD Vance absolutely gives the right answers, but not just gives them. He enforces them and he backs them. And where I'm kind of going with that is, JD went into California, brought this group of people. Dr. Oz went in. They've already come up in one day with $8.6 billion in fraud due to COVID. This was after Rob Banta, DEA, said there was nothing to prosecute. But yet the team stepped in and said, wait a minute, California, you're so wrong. One day, one area, folks. One little area in California already has beaten the fraud in Minnesota. We need to take these people down. And we, the MAGA, we, the Americans, we, the Republicans, want answers. Now, I don't care what side that you're on or where you're from or what your religion is. If you are scamming the American people, or if you're taking from our hard-earned and worked for tax dollars, and you're scamming them away from us, you need to go. And you wonder why waste, fraud, and abuse are up. Governors, such as the one in California and the one in Minnesota, that allow these sanctuary cities are destroying America. What say you, governors? What say you? I could put in a lot of things and say a lot of things, but they're things that we've already heard and seen about what's going on. And what I really want to discuss with you today is something I hold close to my heart. It's the American people and our elections. Now, if you've watched my podcasts in the last couple of weeks, I've talked to you about Venezuela, what Maduro had to do with it, and the different aspects of what's gone on with the voting machines and the voting tallies across America, and what happened in the 2020 election when it was rightly stolen. Well, I'm sure everyone knows that Fulton County was raided, I believe about a week ago, maybe. And when they went in, we all saw Tulsi Gabbard there. Well, you know, if Tulsi Gabbard is there, that there's an international connection. If you haven't watched what I broke down for you in the past videos, I ask that you go back and you watch these videos and learn exactly how this is working. But moving on with that, Tulsi Gabbard was there for a reason. Turns out our great FBI that Kash Patel is putting, I hope, back on the good side, because we all know they've crossed over, has failed us once again. And I want to read this correctly. So I'm going to read you his name. His name is Paul Brown, and he's over the FBI Paul Brown, excuse me. He's over the FBI in Georgia. Turns out that this FBI agent warned Fulton County that the feds were coming. He went as far as to tell them what they were going to be seizing and what they were going to raid and where. Of course, they found out and they arrested him before they got the warrant. And he has now obviously been released from his position. But I think more should happen than that. I feel like that is treason. You mess with the federal election, that's treason. And I feel like the harshest punishments should come to this man. I don't feel like he should be tried in Georgia. I'm not believing that he would actually get what he deserves there, that a new jurisdiction should be chosen for him to be prosecuted at. And I believe that the book, and I mean the book, the library, whatever else we can throw at him should be thrown at him. Comment for me. Comment down below. Let me know. Do you think he should have the book thrown at him also? If not, tell me why and what you think should be done. I'm really interested to hear what the Americans think. J.D. Vance has had his hand in everything. Right behind the president, he's back there charging, taking lead, and helping. Turns out that JD is the most popular vice president in the last 100 years. We've looked that up. Has been verified. And I know why. Because he actually believes in us, the American people. And our MAGA movement is strong. I feel like the people that are in the FBI should be vetted, just like the immigrants that we are vetting. If you're going to work for the FBI, I feel like your process to being hired is not obviously strict enough. And it's not weeding out the dirt. I want the dirt swept out, cleaned out, vacuumed up, and put in the trash. How about you, America? Come on, Cash. We put you in there. We backed you. You promised us that she would handle these things. Having a leader in Georgia like this man is an insult to all of America and to all your MAGA supporters. Get these people checked. Moving on with this. There are lots of things to talk about in this election that were taken. But most of all, what was taken was our integrity, not just President Trump's 4 years. They proved around the world that even America can be infiltrated, and we're not going to tolerate that. Not only was Venezuela, the Chinese, and the Russians involved in this, but Cuba, God only knows what other countries, have infiltrated our whole system. Trump knows all this. It has been investigated, and it turns out that Trump was right about everything, and it has been proven. Tulsi Gabbard is going in to meet with the United States President, Donald Trump, in the next couple of days to let him know exactly the proof that put it all together. In addition to all the hard work done by many Americans who gave their lives, their time, and their energy to show that America was cheated. Now, President Trump has summoned state election officials across the nation for an unusual briefing on preparations for the midterms. Why, you ask? Well, for the exact reasons we've just discussed. I'm sure it's because of the raid, what Tulsi Gabbard found out, and the fear that there's many countries outside the United States, obviously, that are now interfering in our elections. They actually proved that 25%, up to 25% of the people that voted were not even from America in the 2020 election. That's how sad that is, folks, and you think about that for a minute. When I think about governors, I think about what's going on in these states, and I think about the things that are being taken away from us, I get angry. Because to me, voting is one of those rights that many men died for. It's what our forefathers fought for. And to have governors like Abigail Spanberger, I hope I've pronounced this right, the newly elected governor of Virginia, bragging about not complying with ICE on the first day, the first thing on her agenda is sad. Not only are the governors in these states suppressing the people's will, they're taking all the money. And many people that voted in the elections in Virginia did not realize all the new taxes that were going to be added to their state just so that their governors / government officials can become rich. Check it out. I was one of the first to bring it to you. America, look across in what's happening. Is that what you want happening in your state, in your country? Because socialism and communism are on our doorstep. New York City elected the first ever governor of a state, mayor of a city in New York. Really? Is that really what we want? And then come to find out that his own mother was very close to Epstein. Look that up, folks. That's right. The mayor of New York, his mother, was very, very close to Epstein. And in fact, it's been said, I don't know if this is true, so I'm telling you this, but it has been reported that he could very well be Epstein's only child. Look it up in the files. They've been sent out. I guess what I'm trying to show you today is all the things that are happening around the United States that are not only scary, but they're going against the American people in every which way. The vast majority of people in the United States voted Donald J. Trump. into the presidency 3 times. It is our wants, our needs, and our visions that should be put into place, not those of the government. Because according to our forefathers, our government was by the people, for the people. We need to remember that, folks. I just wanted to come in on this Friday, throw you a couple of things that were out on the internet, give you a couple of things to think about over the weekend. I wanted to let you know that you need to do some digging, America. You need to read. You need to watch podcasts. You need to stay away from the regular news stations. They don't report the news. It's all propaganda. And look up that word. Propaganda to psyops. Look up that word and you'll understand. People like Candace Owens or Steve Bannon in the War Room, all the way to Benny on the Benny Show, Joel from New Life News, to Promethean Action with Barb and Susan. We're all out here to give you what is right, what is fair, and what is truthful. Get a news station that you can watch that gives you the news and not their opinion, that gives you the facts and not lies. America, we're going into 2026. Let's make it the year of accountability for everyone, including ourselves. Let's see to it that the people in office are the people that we choose to put in, not the people that we're told to vote for. Our forefathers are watching us. Our great-great-grandchildren are waiting on us. Most of all, time is running out. Put America back the way it's supposed to be. The land of freedom, the home of the brave, and most of all, a nation that is inclusive and it brings in everyone from around the world with pride, honesty, and love. Please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. If you like what you've heard, hit it for me, please. We need to get this message out and around. We need to pass these words on. And if you like it enough, subscribe. If you give a comment, I do try to respond to all. One last thing before we go. I'm starting a movement called HACS, H-A-C-S. How about common sense? If you can help in any way, if you're good on computers, if you're able to help put together a group of people for the day that we choose, all across America, we're going to get together. We're going to show the left what the right can do. HACS is on their way. We're out here. Just because we're quiet doesn't mean we don't see what's going on. It doesn't mean that we don't back America. So if you would, tell me where you're from, what you can do, what you would like to do, and I will get with you. I'm working with many states now, and I ask the rest of the states to help join in. Good night, everyone. I hope you have a great weekend. This is Chuck and Joe and the Freedom Fighters telling you we love you, America, and keep fighting for freedom. God bless.